Welcome to Smack Talk. It is Smack Talk, right? Yes. So, this is what I look like. This is what I think I look like. You know that expression? All right. So, this was actually a really good show. Really enjoyed it. As I usually do all the shows, to be honest with you. Gonna crack open a diet root beer because it's got no sugars or no carbs. It's just got some of that aspartame. The Roman Reigns came out of a limo, didn't have anything to say with Paul Heyman, with the girl in the back that does some of the backstage interviews. I forget her name. So KO versus Escobar with Angel and Umberto. And I really... Umberto, sorry. And I really do enjoy that he's got like his own like little evil LWO faction, you know, for himself. And then moments later, Logan Paul joined on commentary, and I actually really enjoyed it, especially the dynamic between Logan Paul and Corey Graves, because Corey Graves is supposed to be sort of like your heel commentator, but no offense, not in the same light as like Jesse the Body Ventura or Bobby Heenan from the 80s. What you would even end up happening is you would have like Corey Graves comment on like Kevin Owens to Logan Paul and be like, don't you think he's a threat? And he's like, guy looks like he doesn't even know if he's getting ready to go to, you know, some kind of high school party or an actual wrestling show. And Corey Graves is still saying, hey man, KO is nothing to put off to the side like he's nothing. So I kind of really, I really enjoy that sort of dynamic again. Just because you're heel, I've said this a million times, with another heel doesn't mean you can't still have some like slight disputes there. And then the LWO came out of nowhere to take out Angel and Umberto. Corey Graves, like I said, and Logan Paul didn't really bicker, but they were just talking about how good KO is and stuff like that. And it was fun. I was entertained. This had the E in WWE for me. And then the match was great. Santos Escobar is great. I can't wait to see what's in store for him for the future. KO is KO. I mean, let's be real. One of my favorites, literally, of all time. And then backstage, Logan Paul had the ice pack on his head because he went into the ring to talk some smack to KO, and KO just bopped him in the face. And Theory and Waller were there to hang out with Logan Paul for a moment, although we didn't see them for the rest of the night. And then Cameron Grimes came out, essentially laughing at them all. Then he got attacked a little bit. There it is right there, the bop. You can watch it if you want. Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. So that was the bop in the ring. That's what I look like when I wake up in the morning. So Bobby Lashley comes out with the Street Profits. I was going to say, where did that go? Well, we'll get into that in a moment. If you remember these dudes, man, I liked them. So this was huge. Again, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits came out. They were all shaking hands with fans. I know I keep going on about that, and people are going to be like, hey, great, who cares? Big deal for me, even though they're quote-unquote heel. But then something happened. Bobby Lashley declared that he was in the Royal Rumble, wants the Street Profits to have some gold. I can't help but say that I still missed a Hurt Business with MVP and Omos because they were all in that together. So that, to me, would just be cool. Karrion Kross came out with Paul Ellering. Oh my God. And the AOP, the Authors of Pain, if you remember them from years ago. Now that is an interesting duo, and they took out the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. Now Paul Ellering, Legion of Doom, aka Road Warriors, he was their manager. Like, he's still around, and to me, that's just so amazing. It's so nostalgic. And AOP were around a long time ago. Not too sure what happened. I mean, they got released, obviously, like a lot of people do. People come and go. There isn't always necessarily like a reason for it. And moving forward, that whole combo is just like, I can't wait to see how the whole thing is going to play out. And I wonder if that's going to push Bobby and the Street Profits more in like a face category. I don't know. Because for a heel, sort of faction, they've been kind of doing pretty good with the chants and the fans and the interactions and all that. So, yeah. Then this was a great match. Was so glad to see her. Mishin is actually one of my favorites. Maybe it's because I'm biased, because there's a long history with AJ Styles, the Good Brothers, the OC, Gallows and Anderson. Just that whole clique thing. I just really enjoy them. They're actually one of my favorite factions of all time. When Mishin came out representing the OC, again, there was no AJ. We know what happened last week when Mishin was there and all like excited to see him. And he's just like, get off me. Versus Io Sky. Again, clean match. Damage Control came out. There was no distractions. Bayley didn't need to be there. And I really, really like that because, again, it shows that Io Sky can stand on her own. Of course she can stand on her own. I know this is all scripted, but my point is I hate when it's always with Bayley with the distraction or something like that. There was just no bullshit, and it was just pleasant. This was a great, great match. Mishin's been around now the last few weeks, and we hadn't really seen her in a long time. And I hope that we see more of her because she is very, very capable, not awkward, quite comfortable in the ring. And I know I keep going on about that because, and it's going to sound rude, but I'm going to say it. And I do find that it happens with some of the women a little bit more, and it's not because they're women, okay? I don't want people getting the wrong idea here. I think sometimes some are hired for just eye candy, whereas the guys, they don't hire them for eye candy. I'm not saying that they don't ever do it, but they're always fully capable. There's a lot of guys out there that suck. They just don't make the cut. But if they were a woman, I'm just being real, I still feel like sometimes there's some superstars, they don't really know how to wrestle, but they have the look. And sometimes people feel like, you know what, we'll just bring her along anyways because, you know, she looks good. And it's like, that's stupid. Because there's people that are both, you know, looking good in the ring, the actual action, and they also themselves look good. Not that that should matter, but it's a superficial world. So anyways, my point is, what have they been doing with, you know, Mishin this whole time? Like, just really, really good. Because like I said, in the roster, there's some people that are just kind of sloppy. Like even Trish Stratus was still really good. Very, I don't even know what the word is. Very like in tune. Sometimes there's some wrestlers, I'm not going to name any names because I can't think of any specifically off the top of my head right now as I'm talking. They look good, they can wrestle, but sometimes that synergy, they're, oh, you were trying to grab me? Okay, let's go with that. Or they go to do like an Irish whip against the ropes, and they kind of lean down like a little too early, and it's like, and then the other girl will just like run by her. It's like, really? He didn't just grab her? It's not like it just happened at the last second, so the timing sometimes is off. Even though they're good at selling the moves and all this kind of other stuff, sometimes I just feel like there's some sloppiness in there, and that's on WWE's part. But again, there's a lot of amazing competitors, and these two right here, for me, are great, which is why I still back Bayley. Even though I always talk trash about her on the microphone, I think she's horrible on the mic. She's actually very safe, very capable in the ring. So yeah, I just hope we get to see more Mishin. That's what I wanted to go on about. Backstage, Paul Heyman talking about The Rock a little bit. Didn't really say too much. It's going to be, and I say this a lot too, it's going to be interesting to see just how that whole thing unfolds. Is it going to be The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? It's probably not going to be at the Rumble. I don't know what's going on. But we'll talk about that in a moment, super briefly. Then backstage, Io Sky and Damage Control were chit-chatting, about their victory, and Bayley going on about, that was her vision. She wants everybody to have the gold. So this I really enjoyed. I don't know much about him. I've seen him a couple of times. Really good, though. I was really impressed. Because like I said, sometimes you could be good in the ring, but if I don't know you and there's like none of that emotional attachment, there's no history for me, sometimes it's like, meh, whatever. And I just don't really care. But Butch came out with Tyler Bate, Bate Butch. I'm trying to find a funny name for their tag team name, because Ridge the Fridge Holland's no longer around. We don't know what's going on with him. I was hoping it was going to be Sheamus for the mystery partner. But anyways, they defeated Pretty Deadly. It was a good match. Really enjoyed it. Tyler's great. Their synergy, just the whole I'm not saying it was bad with Ridge to Fridge. That is totally not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is my eyes on the screen with this combo, this team, Butch and Tyler versus Pretty Deadly versus like Butch and Ridge Holland versus Pretty Deadly. Apart from, when he screwed up Pretty Deadly, that was Pretty Deadly. Just overall, I just thought it was better. It was just like, oh, this is really cool. Really, really enjoying this match. So, is Tyler Bate around for good now? I think Kevin Patrick said that this was his SmackDown debut. I forget where he's from. I think he was in NXT or something like that. Like I said, when I don't know something, I'm not going to pretend like I know. And then backstage, Ashanti the Adonis. And I don't want to confuse him, but I think he used to be with AJ. Not AJ Styles. The guy, Top Dollar. The guy that some people poke fun at, calling him Flop Dollar. Which actually saved his life when he botched that because he couldn't feel his legs. I was talking to him on Twitter. And it had to do with his diabetes, which I also have. And he actually literally almost lost his legs because he couldn't feel like his leg, like there was something wobbly going on, and that's what that whole flopping thing was. And so anyways, his tag partner, I think that, what were they called? Hit Row, I think they were called. I think it's the same guy. I'm going to feel bad if it's not. People are going to be like, oh my God, dude. Really? He was there talking to Nick Aldis about his future, saying, I don't know where I fit in and all this kind of stuff. Is he going to be around soon? Maybe. Why not the other guy now that's known GCW? Yeah. So that's who that is. So we had the triple threat match, AJ Orton and LA Knight. It was a great match. And Roman Reigns did his thing with Jimmy and all that. Came out, beat the crap out of everybody in there. And Nick Aldis was at ringside, and he's like, you know what? Again, didn't call security. So it's funny. Sometimes people will get into a tuffle or whatever it's called. Throw a couple of punches. There's like 15 refs and security coming down. This is like a full-out brawl. People are bleeding everywhere. And Nick Aldis just like, man, just talking to Heyman, going, you know what? Tell Roman congrats. And Paul's like, what do you mean? He's like, well, it just went from being a one-on-one at the Rumble to, that's the look right there. He just told him in that moment, tell Roman, congrats, it's now a fatal four-way at the Rumble for the championship. Like, wow. So that was really cool. I can't say that I saw that one coming, but I'm not too surprised. So yeah, just overall, like I said, there's some backstage stuff here that I don't recall seeing. The featured videos at the top aren't always about that week's show all the time. Sometimes, most of the time. But, yeah. As always, I just really enjoyed myself. I am going to try, like I said, this year now to really push it now that I'm hitting my first year. I think I've been 9 months on YouTube with my wrestling channel. I really do want to try and step it up there. So the girl here, I forget what her name was. I don't remember her name. Damn it. Was it B-Fab with the red hair? I think she's the one that was with Ashanti the Adonis and Top Dollar in Hit Row. That kind of never went anywhere. So yeah, so tomorrow I'm hoping to have some more 2K gameplay, even though that's not overly exciting and the game's getting old now and people get it. They know what it looks like. And I don't really have anything to teach you, but I still like to showcase the game like a gaming vlog, like I said. Keep the channel active. Gives me something to do. I feel like I'm being productive. So I'm going to do some of that, I think, tomorrow. Get back into a little bit more of my like Reddit stuff where I read some posts and just talk about it. And if people ever do message me on X or Twitter or whatever it is you want to call it, you can say like, what are your thoughts on... It could be back from like the 70s, like who's your greatest heel commentator of all time? Who's your favorite between The King and... Jim Ross, let's say, like, anything that has to do with wrestling. Doesn't matter the era. It doesn't have to be WWE. It could be WCW. It could be New Japan Pro Wrestling, even though I don't know much about them. It could be AEW. What do I think of them? Are they the WCW of today? Anything. so that it gives me a reason to make some more content other than just the weekly Raw and SmackDown. I don't want to be known as just the Raw SmackDown highlight recap guy. I just want to be known as somebody that just talks a lot about random wrestling stuff kind of equally across the board, and I know that lately it hasn't been. Things have just been a little bit hectic, and I'm hoping that things calm down a little bit so that I can focus and devote more time on this channel, because it hasn't been going as well as I would hope. It's been going as well as I was expecting it to go, but I was hoping for more, but whatever. Still worth 20 bucks a month on here. So thumbs up if you liked the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. Bend it in half, twist it, break off a Solo Sikoa Samoan spike in the rear. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, exactly. Doesn't even need to be said. Naturally, that would be great. But if not, thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care. And maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.